banlieue of Paris during a vehicle check. Last year, 22 people were killed in police traffic stops. Nahel's death, said President Macron, was both inexplicable and inexcusable. 5 nights of rioting followed across France. The suburbs and their giant housing estates are where migrants who came to work in France first settled. Their children and grandchildren, some of them as young as 12 or 13, were among the thousands arrested. They are French-born, but say frequent police identity checks are evidence they are not seen as such. In recent decades, billions of euros have been spent, much on decaying estates and neglected public buildings in the suburbs. What though of the people who live there? Is the French state, built on the principle of égalité, blind to race? But does that make it blind to racism too?
Hello, I'm Moira Alderson with the BBC News. The operator that runs the wrecked Fukushima nuclear power plant says it's received the safety certification from Japan's nuclear regulator to enable the safe release of treated contaminated water into the ocean. Speaking in Tokyo, the head of the UN's nuclear watchdog, Rafael Grossi, said he was extremely confident in his agency's assessment that Japan was safe to go ahead with its decision. Here's Shaima Khalil.
The IAEA chief Rafael Grossi has said that Japan's water release plan is consistent with international safety standards, adding that it would have negligible environmental impact. Japan aims to begin releasing the treated wastewater into the sea later this summer. TEPCO, the company which runs the Daiichi nuclear power plant, says most of the radionuclides will be removed from the water, and that tritium, the radioactive particle which cannot be separated, will be far below the legal limits of concentration. Local fishing communities have fiercely objected to the plan, saying their struggling businesses will suffer further because of the reputational damage the water release will cause.
Japan has protested to South Korea about military drills conducted by Seoul on disputed islands, calling them unacceptable. The Japanese Foreign Ministry said it had summoned a senior South Korean diplomat and that Japan's embassy in Seoul had lodged a similar protest. The two nations have long contested the sovereignty of the group of islets called Takashima in Japan and Dokdo in South Korea. The American Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has begun a series of high-level meetings in Beijing by restating her view that decoupling the US and Chinese economies would be a disaster for both. However, the visit is at odds with current difficult trade relations. Here's Rupert Wingfield-Hayes.
The Biden administration is moving forward with limits on the export of cutting-edge microchips to China and the machinery to make them. Beijing is retaliating, restricting the export of rare metals used in solar panels and electric cars. As Ms. Yellen landed in Beijing, President Xi Jinping told senior military officers in the east of the country they must prepare for war and dare to fight. Little wonder expectations for what can come from this trip are being kept low.
Switzerland has signed a declaration of intent to join a European air defence system. Sky Shield was launched by Germany last year after Russia invaded Ukraine and is modelled on Israel's Iron Dome system. Imogen Folks reports.
Russia's invasion of Ukraine has focused European minds. Even neutral countries like Switzerland and Austria are thinking hard about how best to defend themselves in a now unstable continent. Joining Sky Shield won't mean the Swiss Air Force fighting side by side with its European neighbours, but it will mean joint procurement and joint training exercises.
World News from the BBC. Ukraine's military says it shot down 12 of 18 explosive drones in the latest overnight attacks by Russia. It hasn't specified what happened to the other 6, but wreckage from one of those shot down fell on a car driving along a road in the Dnipropetrovsk region, killing the 2 men inside. The Israeli military says its forces have killed 2 Palestinians suspected of carrying out an attack against Israeli police earlier this week. Officials said the 2 men were killed during an exchange of fire in Nablus in the occupied West Bank. The official Palestinian news agency describes the 2 men as having been executed. Tom Bateman has this report.
Israeli troops surrounded a house in Nablus's Old City, where locals report hearing heavy gunfire. They killed 2 Palestinians inside. The army says they were wanted militants who shot at their forces before they could detain them. It saw soldiers enter, then leave the city in jeep convoys, matching a pattern of raids that have become routine in the occupied West Bank over this last year, and distinct from this week's massive military assault involving drone strikes into Jenin refugee camp.
Tom Bateman reporting. A court in Iran has sentenced a trans woman and civil rights activist to 2.5 years in prison, but then reduced it to a fine due to what the judge called the sensitive circumstances. Raha Ajudani was found guilty of propaganda against the state, inciting people to kill each other with the aim of disrupting national security and insulting sacred principles. At least 50 people have lost their lives in the latest floods and landslides triggered by heavy rain in Pakistan. 8 of the dead are children whose bodies were recovered after a landslide in the Shangla district of the northwestern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. A number have died in the eastern city of Lahore, which has witnessed a record-breaking downpour. That's the latest world news from the BBC.
This is The Real Story from the BBC. I'm Sean Lay with your weekly deep dive into a story making news and changing lives. This week, a young man is shot dead by police.
The US could impose restrictions to try and limit its progress. Well, our correspondent Helen Smith joins us now live from Shanghai in China. And Helen, just give us a feel of this event that you're at and the overall mood towards AI in China. Is it one of unbridled optimism, or are they balancing that out with a fear towards it as much as people in the West are?
Look, it's pretty optimistic, I think, and it's easy to be optimistic at a conference like this because it really is a bit of a glimpse into the future, the best and the brightest of this extremely vibrant industry. I just want to show you around a bit, Wilf. It's certainly here today, a lot of it is very fun. It's for the crowds, this particular installation. People can get hooked up with these sort of devices, and the cartoon in the back will kind of dance in line with how you're dancing. But, we've had all sorts of fun today playing on basketball courts that can give you techniques to how to improve your technique. There are robotic arms that can read your horoscope. But look, there's also very, very serious industry innovation as well. Like this robotic arm we're showing you right now, this is a contraption that can essentially detect defaults in any sort of manufacturing sort of equipment and products. So look, it's really, really impressive. And I think in terms of your question about the regulation here and how people are feeling, people are optimistic, but they share the fears of people in the West of what this will do to their jobs and whatnot. Remember also, regulation here in China likely to be more strict than elsewhere because, of course, this is a place where censorship is already rife.
West versus East there coming up, as it often does, specifically as it relates to AI. Who's ahead at the moment?
That's an excellent question and a difficult question as well. Most experts say that fractionally at the moment the US is still leading, and there are a few sort of key reasons for that. Essentially, if you want to develop really excellent AI, you need 3 key factors according to the experts. You need data, you need really good people, and you need really good stuff, so hardware and software. On the first count, you might think that China would have the best data in the world, and in some areas, such as facial recognition or whatnot, it does have more data than Western countries would have. But there are other areas where it's held back. For instance, actually, proportionally less of the internet is in Chinese, which just means they have less access to less information in that sense. In terms of personnel, there's extremely good scientists here. There's some concern about the future as groups like Microsoft move their AI centres out of China. That might restrict access to good people in the future. But in terms of hardware and software, that's the area where China has been more held back. And it's because of that really, really important US Chips Act, a big piece of regulation last year that essentially blocked the sale of the most cutting-edge technologies to China. And experts say that really has hampered progress here. But look, the AI race is a very long one. There is still really innovative work going on here. And who wins ultimately, I mean, it's anyone's guess.
And just quickly, Helen Ann, whilst I've got you, even though Sarah Brightman, I think it is in the background, is trying to drown you out a little bit. A quick question about Janet Yellen, the US Treasury Secretary, of course, has just touched down in China this week. What's on the agenda for her tour? Is there genuinely a thawing of relations between the US and China? Because it comes after Secretary Blinken, of course, made a trip himself of late.
A renewed effort on both sides to try and prevent this relationship from deteriorating. Look, the context is that relations between US and China are at their lowest ebb that they've been for decades. It's been an incredibly difficult month between the two, but I think there's a recognition on both sides that more work needs to be done to make sure that competition never descends into conflict. And Antony Blinken, the US Secretary of State, started that work coming to China just a few weeks ago. And although no major breakthrough was expected then, and none indeed came, and certainly I don't think any major breakthrough is expected with Janet Yellen's visit either, but just continuing those channels of communication I think is considered to be extremely important. She'll be meeting with Li Cheng, who's the premier here in China. That's the second in command, and he's also in charge of the economy. So they'll also be talking about practical issues. Janet Yellen making known that she is displeased with how some foreign companies have been treated here in China. So they might be focused on smaller issues like that, but look, the bigger divisions that exist between them absolutely are still there. Just some progress, hopefully, in just keeping those channels of communication going.
Smith, thank you so much for that report, and I, for one, don't personally begrudge the time to say goodbye from Brightman and Bocelli, and in the background, it's embarrassingly high up on my most played tracks. We've got a special programme tonight, 7 o'clock on Sky News. Kamali Melbourne will be joined by guests, including former Prime Minister Tony Blair, to explore the impact of AI on the workforce in the UK and beyond. Plus, we'll find out if the West is falling behind China in that global race for AI that Helen Ann was just talking about. 7 p.m. tonight here on Sky News with Kamali Melbourne. Now, Twitter has threatened to sue Meta over its new Threads platform. The app, created by Facebook and Instagram owners Meta, has logged more than 30 million sign-ups since Wednesday's launch. Its boss, Mark Zuckerberg, looks to take on Elon Musk's Twitter by leveraging Instagram's billions of users. Celebrities including Gordon Ramsay, Shakira have already joined, and Downing Street says it's considering whether to get Rishi Sunak onto Threads. Well, our US correspondent Martha Kellner has more of the details of this clash from LA.
Both apps offer users the ability to post, to repost, to like the posts of other users. The main discernible differences are that Twitter has a direct messaging function. It also allows users to search for specific terms and phrases, whereas Threads doesn't. But they are very alike. That fact is inescapable. And they're too alike, in the opinion of Elon Musk, the owner of Twitter. He wrote on Twitter about Threads, if you can keep up, he wrote, "Competition is fine, cheating is not." And to that end, Twitter is now threatening legal action against Meta, the owner of Threads. A lawyer for Twitter wrote in a letter to Meta describing Threads as a copycat app, and they accuse Meta of having hired former employees of Twitter in order to use Twitter's trade secrets and other intellectual property. A spokesperson for Meta has denied this. They say no one on the Threads engineering team is a former Twitter employee. That is just not a thing, they say. But there's no secret of the animosity between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. They've even offered each other out in a cage fighting match in Las Vegas. No date scheduled for that as yet, but certainly no love lost there, and their battle could now be heading for the courts.
Anna there for us in LA. I'm joined now for further discussion on this by our business presenter Ian King. Ian, what I find so interesting about this is it's actually not the first time that Mark Zuckerberg has copied a rival in terms of a sort of sub-product on his social media platforms. When Snapchat came onto the scene initially and had disappearing videos, pictures and messages, he responded with stories on Instagram. And when TikTok came onto the scene with these short videos, he responded with Instagram Reels. I guess the difference now in this accusation from Twitter is that he's not just copying the product with Threads, but there's some kind of use of their IP and possibly even of their former employees who've left Twitter but under restrictions with their departure agreements.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true. And let's not beat about the bush. There are plenty of former Twitter employees out there after Elon Musk sacked half of the workforce when he took over the social media platform. You make a good point that Meta does have form here
for launching these cheap copycat apps, taking on the likes of Snap and TikTok. I think what this court case shows is that potentially Elon Musk and Twitter are really quite rattled by what Meta have done. They've signed up 30,000 users on Threads already. That puts it in line to be the most downloaded app ever, overtaking ChatGPT, which holds that record currently. And I think it also speaks to the fact that a lot of people in the market think that this does have a really good chance of displacing Twitter. Now, there have been other social media apps that have been launched in competition to Twitter. Obviously, Mastodon, Blue Sky, which was launched by Jack Dorsey, one of the co-founders of Twitter, and of course, Truth Social, launched and backed by Donald Trump. But none of those rival apps have really made much headway, largely in some cases because their systems just weren't up for it. I mean, when Elon Musk started irritating regular Twitter users a while ago, that looked like Mastodon's moment in the sun, and its service promptly collapsed under the weight of demand. Well, it's very unlikely that a similar fate will befall Threads. And of course, it's tied into Instagram. So you already have a sort of ready-made user base there that can be plugged into it. Now, the other point to make here concerns profitability, of course. Twitter, founded in 2006, has only made profits in 2 of the years of its entire existence. And clearly it's losing money at a pretty rapid rate right now. That's one thing that Elon Musk is desperate to try to turn around. And you might say, well, hang on, surely that means that Threads is going to lose money as well. Well, not necessarily. I mean, it's been suggested to me that basically all Mark Zuckerberg needs to do is really switch on the advertising. And of course, bearing in mind, he does have those really, really powerful entrenched relationships with advertisers via Meta's other platforms, the likes of Facebook and Instagram. And therefore, it's an easier thing for him to do than potentially some of Twitter's other rivals. So I think Elon Musk is right to be concerned about this. It certainly looks like a bigger threat in terms of the competition than anything that's come before Threads.
It's such an interesting point about the profitability comparison, Ian, highlighted another way by just the size comparison of the two companies. Twitter, when it was bought recently by Musk, $44 billion price tag, probably worth considerably less today, given the troubles that existed whilst Musk's been in charge. Facebook owner Meta is worth $750 billion. So it does raise the question, why would Zuckerberg bother going after this smaller submarket of the social media landscape? And in that sense, it is quite a big difference to when he responded to Snapchat with stories and to TikTok with Reels, because those two companies were really threatening the very future of the Facebook product suite, whereas this one seems slightly different. It's almost like Twitter's brought so many problems on itself, even though it's a less profitable market. Zuckerberg and Facebook are thinking, well, we might as well now go after this particular market. And the only added point I just raise on that, Ian, is whether there's a chance he'd regret it, because Twitter comes with more political focus than the likes of just sharing your family snaps does.
It really does. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, don't forget with Mark Zuckerberg, there is probably a personal element to this. Don't forget, he tried to buy Twitter once upon a time, fairly early on in its existence. He offered $500 million for him. That was promptly rejected by Jack Dorsey, and almost the consolation prize, as it was seen at the time for Facebook, as it then was Instagram, for which it paid $2 billion. Whether it's ever really made up for the value of that ever since is questionable, but it's all part of the broader service. So I think and he subsequently went on, of course, don't forget, to disparage Twitter. He called it a clown car at one point. So I think Zuckerberg, there's a bit of personal feeling in this, a bit of personal mentality in this for him as well. I think the one problem that he's going to have with taking on Twitter, although, as I've said, I think he has a much, much better chance than every competitor that's emerged thus far, is that Twitter has nearly 400 million users worldwide. It's very, very difficult to get that whole sort of crowd to move en masse over to a rival platform. So, as you pointed out, a number of big name users have already set up Threads accounts. But it's that network effect, as is known in the jargon. It's getting all of those people to move over at once. If Threads gets serious momentum behind it, and you do start to see big name Twitter users coming off Twitter and onto Threads instead, well, then Elon Musk really will have a problem.
Ian, thanks so much. As always, we look forward to Business Live with Ian at 11:30 this morning, as always. Now, an 8-year-old girl has died after a Land Rover crashed into a primary school in southwest London yesterday morning. The London Ambulance Service confirmed that 16 people were treated at the scene and 10 were taken to hospital. Police have arrested a woman in her 40s on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. Our reporter Ashna Hurinag is in Wimbledon with an update for us this morning.
The first thing that strikes you about where we are today is that as well as Wimbledon being famous for the championships, it is also known for being an incredibly idyllic place to grow up and a place to live. We are in a very, very secluded part of the common. This school stands opposite a golf club and there are 3 roads coming out of it. Now that the cordon is lifted, you can see behind me that partial fencing of that school, the wooden part of the fence, has collapsed. To give you a sense, I suppose, of what may have unfolded yesterday morning, it was around 10 o'clock in the morning in which a number of students were enjoying the end of summer term. They were celebrating that with a breakfast party outdoors. There were mats outside, tables, chairs, and you get a sense that they were having fun when you can only imagine what horror unfolded when this vehicle ended up ploughing through the fencing behind me, going over the pavement and careering into that garden and into that school building, injuring so many. Some 10 people have been taken to hospital. 16 people we know were treated here at the scene after so many emergency service personnel descended on this small part of Wimbledon. Of those people that were injured, sadly there was the death of this 8-year-old little girl who yesterday morning had put on her school uniform and had come to take part in her final day here at this school. And we know that there are now people in this local community very much mourning the loss of this young girl. There are flowers and cards with lots of messages of support and tributes, but also cuddly toys that have been placed just outside those railings. Among the messages that are written on some of those cards, they say, "So sorry for this tragic loss to the school and the family. Forever in our thoughts." Another one reads, "Our thoughts and prayers are with you all on this tragic day." As I say, 10 other people are also being treated for quite critical injuries within hospital. But what we know is that the believed to be the driver of that vehicle, a 40-year-old woman, walked away from the scene and she has been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving, and she has been remanded in custody. The school issued a statement yesterday saying that everybody here is profoundly shocked, and I think that sentiment is shared by the wider community here.
Ashna Hurinag there. You're watching Sky News Today. Still to come, could the US send controversial cluster munitions to Ukraine? We'll bring you the latest with our military analyst next.
Our app gives you the very best of Sky News wherever you are. Breaking news, videos and analysis.
Evidence of the crisis.
Podcasts, watching us live.
Take you live to Manchester Crown Court.
Sky News Daily Podcast.
All in one place. And all at just the touch of a screen. The Sky News app. Download for free now.
There's been a survey conducted, which Barclays did, which interested me, because it showed that while 3/4 of people wanted to make their homes more energy efficient, there was a big misconception about both the time that the works took and the cost. They thought it was much more expensive and much more disruptive than actually it is. Barclays the scheme's been very popular. They've got a greener home reward scheme, and they are offering their existing mortgage customers up to £2,000 to retrofit some of these environmentally friendly things. So it's solar panels, it's insulation, it's ground source heat pumps, it's double or triple glazing. So these are all things that are really good for the homeowners. They're really good for the environment. And actually, they're also very good news when it comes to selling. I think particularly now, anything that puts money in people's pockets or saves them money, and Barclays are offering up to £2,000, then that's also good news. In my last home, I had it all draft excluded. I had it tested and realised where I was losing heat. But actually, my current home, my predecessor had put a ground source heat pump and solar panels in. So that was a real comfort to me when I came to choose it. But I knew it generated money. Actually, it saved money. It's really
it's
well
a good
insulated.
selling option is what you're saying.
It is, and increasingly so.
A lot of action going on. I'm Alex Crawford and I'm Sky's.
iOrange is the brand new hydration drink developed with bold, thirst-quenching orange flavor to refresh and replenish. iOrange was created to fill the void where great taste meets functionality. With bold, thirst-quenching orange flavor to help you refresh, replenish, and refuel.
Worth $800 million, which could include controversial cluster munitions that are banned in some 120 countries. Well, joining us now for some analysis, retired Air Vice Marshal Sean Bell. Sean, very simple first question. What is a cluster munition?
Yeah, good morning, Wolf. They've been around since the World War II, but they're any munition that basically is fired initially, one single munition, and then it explodes in flight to distribute a whole bundle of different sub-munitions once it's in flight, and therefore creates a sort of area weapon. We used to fly with them in the Royal Air Force, but they were banned, and but they are also used for ground-based artillery as well as air-launched.
And so, as we mentioned in the intro, 120 countries have banned them, including the UK. Why?
Part of the challenge is that these munitions, when they scatter, are specifically designed to take out normally armour. So they're very sensitive fuses that when they hit the armour, they explode. For example, the ones we used to fly with, a slug of molten metal that goes through a tank like a knife through butter. The challenge is it's an area weapon, so not all the weapons, in fact, large majority of them will not actually hit the target. If they hit soft ground, often they will not detonate, and they've got a very, very high failure rate. The UK was about 10%. Some of the US versions are potentially 20%. And those munitions are still live, but they're now just waiting. And there have literally been tens of thousands of civilian casualties because maybe days, weeks, months, years later, they pick them up and they explode in their hands.
Wow. I mean, that's really interesting. And I guess gives the reason why they're banned. On the flip side, US hasn't banned them, nor has Ukraine, nor has Russia, a lot of the key players that we're talking about now. What's the positive case for why it's understandable that the US would want to give them to Ukraine, who would want to use them?
Yeah, so Ukraine at the moment has been desperately needing more weapons, and it won't be any secret that they're struggling with a counter-offensive at the moment. A month in, they've got established Russian trenches and minefields to get through. These bomblets could be very effective against the trench positions for the Russians, and also potentially for clearing some of the minefield that's out there. Now, the risk, which is that a load of these munitions don't go off, and that because they're going to be launched over Ukraine soil, Ukraine will own that risk. So providing that President Zelensky and his team understand the risk involved, then they have to make a judgment about the benefit of these weapons, which could provide a decisive capability in this war, versus the risk of the legacy they're going to inherit of having to clear up these weapons.
And just a follow-up on that. I mean, it sounds like this sort of broad spread approach. The alternative would be to give them technology to do much more targeted bombing. I mean, is that something they don't have yet that would be an alternative or not?
It's a great point, but the package that you've just outlined from Biden does include HIMARS rockets as well. The challenge is that those high-tech weapons are very expensive, and there's not enough of them to target every single trench system, and particularly you don't know exactly where the mines are. So this is quite an innovative solution to the practical problems on the ground at the moment. And let's face it, the Americans and the Ukrainians and the Russians haven't banned these munitions. We've banned them because of the impact on the civilian population. But actually, given the specific area, they look like they're going to use them. Even though they're banned, I can see why President Biden might be persuaded to let Ukraine have them, providing they fully understand the risks involved.
Really interesting. Sean, thanks so much. Time for a quick look at the weather.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
iOrange is the brand new hydration drink developed with bold, thirst-quenching orange flavor to refresh and replenish. iOrange was created to fill the void where great taste meets functionality. With bold, thirst-quenching orange flavor to help you refresh, replenish, and refuel.
Regina, every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodoma, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world in adjustment. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Turn it on. Turn it up. Broadcasting live online.
Body is your man. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We call them London for home. For here, we call them London. And I sabi you know, just have fun and stay blessed.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
The coolest way to start your weekend. The best radio show.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it on?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and The Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is
UK.
Starr Radio
UK.
This is Starr Radio
UK.
Welcome.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio.
Love for you runs deep. All of you makes my heart beat. You make a doubt they fade. Jesus, and that's what makes you great. You hold the world in your hands. The hand that made me who I am. Same God now, yesterday, and forevermore.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. I want to salute each and every one of you and welcome you to the Friday edition of the morning show. Today is the 7th of the 7th, 0707 2023, the 7th of July. Okay, you remember 7-7 in the UK? How many years now? My goodness, quite some time now. Wow. But it is Friday, 10:41 the time, and it's the morning show. I am your one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
And so good morning to my colleagues, Mr. Olayomi, who will be working behind the scenes today because he has to be somewhere to see to address some important family issues pertaining to funeral and stuff like that. So he's taking the time off for today, so he's not going to be joining us live, but he's posted that some of the stories making the rounds that we're going to be looking at during the course of the program. And I'm saying good morning to our money man, Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services, who also will be joining us exactly at 12:30 for the money hour as well. And let me say good morning to Felix all the way in Aberdeen, Kojo D here in the south, my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. Good morning to you, gentlemen. All the way in Cyprus, HRH Linda Pali, and I salute you, lady. I hope you are doing good. All right then. And let me also say good morning to my bishop, Mr. Bishop Adeshina. He was the first to join us on the broadcast on the YouTube channel. He says, good morning, Star Radio. Good morning to you, my bishop, and to everyone in the RBS office there in Niger this morning. Pastor Mo, good morning to you. Anthony Dedeji, good morning. Aziz, good morning. Shamsuddin, good morning to you. Olakunle, good morning. The one and only Sam Maxwell, good morning to you. And Moiwa, I hope you are doing very, very well. To Ebenezer Hammond all the way in Cape Town, South Africa, salute you. I hope you are doing very, very well as well. Chantel, good morning to you all. And to all our wonderful listeners from across the globe, from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar. As we say on this platform, it's making the headlines. We're going to be touching on it this morning. But once again, welcome to the program. Okay, so the world in your hands. Now, we're a program outline. I'm going to bring you the quote of the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. It's known as Global Trotting. Then after that, we'll move on from there. We'll be looking at some of the issues that is going on in Nigeria as per what Mr. Olayomi has posted for us to look at today. However, if you were there and maybe you have some snippet or some information or some news that is going on you want to share with us, feel free to do so. You can put it on any of the platforms and I'll be able to read that as well and share with our worldwide listeners and viewers as well, of course. And also, we'll continue from then and we'll be looking at some of the other stories making the rounds all over the globe. As we say, if it's making the headlines, why not? We're going to touch on them. Then at 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. To continue from then, at 12:30, we'll bring the first part of the program to a close and we'll take you to Kent, where our money man is. Then after that discussion, we'll bring the curtains down for the end of the program. So in Nigeria, that's what's going to be happening today. But wherever you are, stay tuned, stay glued to your sets, don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
All of you makes my heart beat.
Now the quote for the day says that the digital age has given everyone tremendous opportunities and new ways of living your potential. So which one are you using? Old school, old school, old school? The dinosaur generation. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Okay, now let's move on straight to the weather front. Let me tell you what's happening on the weather front this morning. So when it comes to the weather front, we're going to be having today looks to be dry and fine day with plenty of sunshine expected throughout and a little to no cloud around. A very warm day in the sunshine though. Now after a sunny evening, the night will continue to see dry and clear conditions throughout with no cloud around, a warm night with a southerly breeze as well expected. Now, tropical temperature is going to be 29 degrees, the lowest is going to be 18 degrees. Pollen level is going to be high, UV level high, pollution is going to be moderate. Now, sunset for tomorrow, for this tonight is going to be 21:18, and sunrise for tomorrow morning is going to be 04:52 hours. However, when it comes to the weekend weather, tomorrow is going to be a mixture of cloud and sunshine. Total temperature 26 degrees, the lowest 15 degrees. And come Sunday, cloud and rain. Yes, total temperature 23 degrees and the lowest 13 degrees. So in Nigeria, that's what's going to be happening today and over the weekend when it comes to your weather front. Share with us what is happening in your area. The other time, Bishop Addition was saying that it's hot. Or maybe where you are in school, Comfort, all the way in Minnesota. Good morning to you. I know it's cool, but I know that it's summertime, so it's not going to be cool there. Let me say good morning to Mr. Isaac Makiva as well, wherever you are, bro. I hope you are doing very, very well. And to all the Makivas, I salute you. Sidel, Albert, and all your families, I salute each and every one of you. I'm here saying good morning to you all. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's take a quick break. We come back and I bring you the travel update. Stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It's now time for your travel updates. Wherever you are, stay tuned and don't you go away.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. So keep it navigated. I promise I'm on the Starr Radio UK travel update that comes to you every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:48, and so what is happening on your travel this morning? For those of you traveling on the underground this morning, the Bakerloo line has got minor delays due to earlier track fault at Embankment. Second line has also got minor delays due to an earlier signal failure at Tower Hill. And then District line has got minor delays due to an earlier signal failure at Tower Hill. Things have been accepted on London buses and C2C, Southwestern, and DLR. Now, Hammersmith and Sydney line has got severe delays due to an earlier signal failure at Tower Hill, as we've said. So, but that aside, all the others are working, having a good service there. London Overground, DLR, London Tramlink, good service. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. After keeping navigated, I promise I'm born. Now, moving on straight to the major roads in London. A40, A41, Central London Red routes have all got serious delays. The River Bus as well has got reduced service for the Woolwich Ferry. But on the other side, all the others have got good service. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. After keep you navigated, I promise I'm born. The Starr Radio travel update that comes away every day from 10:40. Okay, so now on the London Cable Car, good service there, and the final segment, that is a National Rail and our Chiltern Railways, First Transparent Express, Gatwick Express, Special, Great Northern, Great Western, Greater Anglia Island Line, Southwestern Railway, and Southern, of course, Thames Link as well have all got special services. Now, when it comes to the cross country, East Midlands and Northern Rail, they've got minor delays. Also, Southeastern has got minor delays. That aside, all the others are moving, having a good service there. So, I would say once again, as I would normally do. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your comments for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 9 minutes to the top of the hour. And it's now time for Global Trotting. So wherever you are, stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. When it comes to stories making the round this morning, from Nigeria, where I will be bringing you all the necessary updates that have come. Fire share to Tinubu. I will move against you if you derail. Okay, we'll be telling you more about all that. Well. Is it going to derail? And what move will you move against him? Now, finally, INEC files 6-count charges against suspended Adamawa Rec. Okay, we'll be bringing you more on that as well. And Tinubu to announce revised dates for 2023 national census. Why are they changing it? Is it because of funds or what? A Kano anti-graft agency invites Ganduje for questioning. Apparently, yesterday, some information were coming through that, all that they were saying that there were some fake that video that had gone viral where Ganduje and those dollars were fake, but apparently it was all true. Now, he's being questioned. He's going to be questioned by the anti-graft agency. Also, making the rounds this morning, money laundering. CBN alerts banks on transaction from Cameroon, Croatia, Vietnam, and others who are bringing those monies in. Woo! Okay, and asset declaration. Court grants Abba Kairi 50 million bail. Okay, all right. Abba Kairi, yes. Is it going to be going to the US? Is it going to be what we call him extradited to the US or not? We'll be telling you more about that. Nigeria's fuel consumption drops to 28% after subsidy removal. Is it that people cannot afford to buy it, or those who were actually transporting it or selling it, or to other neighboring countries cannot do that any longer, and that's why the consumption has dropped? Now, police arrest Abuja customer who stole 55 million naira Benz in Edo after recovering car and diphtheria. NCDC confirms 798 cases and 80 deaths in 8 states, which is quite a worrying one. We'll be looking at that as well. But there are some of the stories making the rounds. As I did say earlier on, you have any information pertaining to what is happening in Nigeria or wherever you are listening to us from, just bring it on. And I promise you one thing for sure, we're gonna touch on it. All right then. So now let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds this morning on the African continent. The DRC, that is Democratic Republic of Congo, and South Africa are planning security pact. Is that something that's going to help them to actually fight the M23 insurgency? Okay, and then Niger. Free distribution of food against famine. A total of 270.6 billion CFA francs, more than 412 million euros, will be injected into a support plan for vulnerable population. Hadari has also said the migrant accused Tunisia of dumping them on border. It's a very sad story there. Historic Roman bakery closes down. Historic Roman bakery Panficio Arrigoni, that served popes, closes down amid rising energy costs and lack of customers. Okay, I think that they need to do something about it. And Then moving on straight to some other stories. South African firefighters help fight wildfires in Canada as well. Oh my, well done to them. Okay, in their country they cannot get anything to do. Then they take them to the thick of things there, and they are able to sort it out. Attempted suicide cases can be blamed over lack of morale on campus. That's where or what the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology information is that is coming through. Mutala denies referring to Ursula as LGBT practitioner. He didn't say that. I think the information that came through was that he said that she was encouraging or promoting that. That's what she said. He said. But we'll bring in more. Now, question trial. Court sets July 11 to rule on motion for stay of proceedings. We'll see about that. Innovative marketing strategies needed to overcome current economic challenges. It's one of the stories that is making the rounds in Ghana as well. Now, moving on to some other stories. A blocker blows alarm on $48 million US contract awarded by Ursula without PPA approval. Oh, Ursula. She was one of my favorite MPs. But it seems that things are not working very, very well with her. And we'll be looking at it though in a moment. Okay, it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And then still in Ghana, one more story, and then we can move on to other parts of the globe. Now, when others gave excuses, I sacrificed my political career for MPP during 2012 election petition, and that's what Baumia is saying there. You and I were not there. He said, well, I did all those sacrifices, so it's now payback time. The Mahine unfit to remain in office as High Court judge. Owusu Bempa is saying. A deputy communication director of the New Patriotic Party, NS Owusu Bempa, has said that the utterances of the Domahene on the trial of a not member of parliament, James Jachukwesin, make him unfit to remain in office as a High Court judge. Really? Well, maybe we don't need to think outside the box. We have to always be thinking within. Now, what do you think about all that? It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, in other parts of the world as well, the three ways, okay, Ukraine counter-offensive can go. Will Russia defense shatter or hold firm? That's a question that's on the lips of most people or countries that are trying to give them that or arm them to be able to push Russia back. Now, Amazon deforestation down by a third in 2023, and that's what Brazil is saying. Government data shows the decrease in lawless first 6 months, reversing a year-long trend. Well, the president before then, Bolsonaro, he was of the view that, come on, after all, we're all going to be dying one day. Yes, the end of the world is going to be coming, and therefore, let's destroy and let us just make it while the sunshine and go away. The next generation, whatever they will do, or if whatever happens, happens. Well. But, Lola took over, and now we see about a third of it. Well, you know what? They say that the Amazon rainforest is the lungs of the world. But what are we giving back to them for them to keep it intact? Now, no one came out of Russia mutiny. A hero, Lukashenko, is saying the Belarusian leader said the groups like Wagner must be watched closely to stop rebellions. All right, then. Yesterday there was information coming through later in the day that the Wagner boss's residence was ransacked by the military when they broke into, I don't know, whatever they want to do there, and they took pictures of things that they've acquired. But I was listening to that, pondering over that, and I was saying that Russian opposition leader who is now in custody, who has been sentenced to how many? I think his prison sentence keeps on going on and on and on. Now, what he was saying at the time, wasn't he right? Because he was saying that, look, these people, they are amassing wealth, and we see that if you go to the residence of what do you call him, the Wagner boss's residence, that Prigozhin, you find out that, well, there were piles of cash, there were gold bars, there were the opulence that he lives in is exactly what this man said, and he's been thrown into jail. But well, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Rahul Gandhi appeal in defamation case dismissed. Okay, It is All Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, let's move on. There's one story that seems very disgusting, but I won't touch on. I'll try not to touch on that as well. But here in the UK, as we did say yesterday during the morning show, because the incident did happen, driver quits over fatal Wimbledon school crash. The driver, a woman in her 40s, was arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. I don't know. I don't get it. How the car skidded off the road, hit, broke the fence, and then went all the way there to go kill these kids. This kid and hurting others as well. And then Edward's dad vows to help combat gun violence. The Tim Edwards says he wants to do all he can to stop the cycle of gun violence on Merseyside. We hope to see what will happen on that front as well. And house prices fall at fastest rate in 12 years. Halifax says the group is the biggest annual fall. The drop is the biggest annual fall since 2011 as mortgage rates continue to rise for many. And Martin Lewis fell sick seeing deep fake scam. Well, last week we brought you some on the Money Hour scams that is being going on. Now Martin Lewis said he was left feeling sick by an online scam video featuring a realistic computer generated likeness of him. The widely circulated ad, which attempts to solicit money for a supposed investment scheme, appears to use AI powered deep fake technology. Consumer finance expert Lewis said it was weird and pretty frightening to have his face and voice imitated. Now he warned people will be tricked out of money without industry regulation. In the advert, which appeared on Facebook, a fake likeness of Lewis encouraged people to sign up for what it claimed to be an Elon Musk-backed project, calling it legit and great investment. Now, I think I've come across that several times, and I looked at it and I'm like, and the money that they're telling that you're going to be making, and I was saying, why don't you go to the banks, go loan some money and put it there and make all that money and then get out of our faces. But well, it's come out that they are all fake AIs that's scamming people. Now, what do you think can be done about it? This is a new territory, and it's going to be a tough time. But you want to know more? Just stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK. We're going to take a musical break. We come back, and I'll be telling you more about what is happening from Nigeria with updates from Nigeria. As I did say, Olayomi is not going to be with us this morning because he has to attend a funeral, the burial of a family loved one. So just bear with us. Just bear with us. But let's enjoy this tune that's going to be coming your way in the next few moments. Stay tuned. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
On point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
We say, hey,
This is Starr Radio UK.
Sing hallelujah, amen. Thine is the King of the power, the glory forever and ever. Until you are sing hallelujah, amen. One more time and say, thine is the King of the power, the glory forever and ever. Until you are sing hallelujah, amen. Everybody, thine is the King of the power, the glory forever and ever. Until you are sing hallelujah, amen.
Glory be to the Lord in the highest. Come on, everybody. One more time, say. And say, glory be to the Lord in the highest. Everybody tell me. One more time and say. Everybody shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. Everybody say hallelujah. Shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. Sing hallelujah. Hallelujah. Everybody shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. Sing hallelujah. Hallelujah. You can shout hallelujah. Everybody go.
Lord, we lift our hands in worship as we bless your holy name. You deserve it.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK.
Lord, we lift our hands in worship.
Are you ready to know?
As we bless your holy name. You are great. You do miracles so great. There's no one else like you.
Nobody.
There is no one else like you. You are great. You do miracles so great. There is no one else like you.
There is no one.
There is no
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Starr Radio, radio for the people, by. You are listening to Starr Radio Morning. Archie on Starr Radio. Nobody does it
Are you ready? Go! Everybody go! Everybody say. Everybody go! Now this time, everybody! Yahweh! 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 Yahweh!
Well, something from the one and only Shadrach Mesa. Crazy. Maximum praise there. And I hope that you are enjoying the tune this morning and I'm making your day. We say here on Star Radio UK, your weekend starts from here.
You make a way where there seems to be no way. You shut them out of my enemies and they got no.
I'm going to be bringing you updates from Nigeria in a moment.
The coolest way to start your weekend.
As I did say earlier on, Mr. Olayomi he can be with us this morning because of a family engagement. But our thoughts are with him and our condolences as well. May God comfort the whole family. Okie dokie do. Don't you worry, I'll find time to bring you the full length of that music one of these days. But for now, let us take a quick commercial break. We come back and I'll bring you the travel updates there as well.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Archie on Star Radio. Nobody does it better.
Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 12 minutes past the top of the hour, and it is the Friday edition of the morning show, and it's time for the updates from Nigeria. As per instruction, my boss, Yomi has sent, my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi has sent to me this morning where I'm going to be looking at as well. So wherever you are, don't even think of touching the dial at all. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's start it from here. Now IGP has disbanded team, orders commencement of administrative disciplinary process due to misconduct in a bold move to address the unprofessional conduct of some police officers attached to the Edo State Police Command who were responsible for running over a citizen at Ekpoma. This acting Inspector General of Police IGP Olakayode Adeole Ogbetukun, who has a PhD and MPM, has taken the decisive action of disbanding the team forthwith. This step aims to regularize and standardize police operation in the axis and restore public trust in the police force. Additionally, the operatives involved are currently facing disciplinary charges and administrative procedures. This move underscores the commitment of the IGP to hold officers accountable for their actions, which will never be tolerated in the Nigerian police force. So the question that we were asking on Wednesday during the Niger Voices is, do you think that the new service chiefs can restore the peace or the security that the nation needs at all? Now, the Inspector General of Police reiterates his commitment to ensuring the highest standards of professionalism and ethics, while urging members of the public to always cooperate with the police officers in the discharge of their statutory duties. Yes, people will cooperate with the police when they know that the police who has stopped me is trying to question me, is not going to maybe plant some evidence on me and say, yeah, you did that, or a few things there. But let's see what happens there. It's all coming away from Star Radio UK. As we said, a new sheriff is in town, and therefore maybe we're going to be seeing different things that is going on in the country henceforth. But well, Fayose to Tinubu, he said, I will move against you if you derail. What is he talking about there? Now, former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose has said he will not hesitate to move against President Bola Tinubu if he derailed from his campaign promises to Nigerians. Now, Fayose, who spoke with newsmen yesterday after paying a courtesy visit to the president at the State House, Abuja, however, commented on his character consistency, saying although he was supporting the president, he will, however, not hesitate to attack him if he failed in his promises to Nigerians. Now, insisting he remained a member of the opposition People's Democratic Party and never to join the ruling All Progressive Congress, he said, "I want to say to you that Nigerians know me very well. When President Buhari was to come from day one, I made it very clear that the president would not do well. I did not hide. I was open to it, and I said it repeatedly." He goes on further to say in a quote, "May I say to you, ladies and gentlemen of the press, let me tell you, if Asiwaju turns back on his promise, or he said when he was campaigning, I will be the first to talk. I'm not timid, and I don't shy away from facing challenges. But the man I have seen today, I don't eulogize and I don't praise to carry favor. I am no more a small boy. Let me tell you, the man I saw today and for the actions we have seen means well for Nigeria." But that mean, that we're going to be seeing, because Fayose, it belongs to the PDP, and it's the PDP and the Labour Party that has taken the INEC and the ruling government now to court that they didn't win the election free and fairly. Okay, so does that actually throw a spanner in their web? If somebody from your camp is going now to the ruling, the newly sworn in president to say, you know what, well done, I think you're going to be doing great. You know what? All your promises, I'm looking up to you. I believe you because you've got a good rapport with the public, and I can see the actions that you are taking now, and I think that you'll be a very good cook. But if I find out that you are not doing the same, then I'll come chastising you. Now, that actually put a spanner in the web of the opposition party at the moment, that is the PDP and the LP, for that tribunal, that the hearing that is going on, or the ongoing hearing. What do you think about all that? Well. It is all Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, just bear with me. Now, another story coming through says, now, INEC has finally filed 6-count charge against suspended Adamawa REC. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission has filed a 6-count charge against the suspended resident electoral commissioner deployed for Adamawa State, Hudu Yanuza Arai. Now, the case was filed at the Adamawa State High Court sitting in Yola over his unprofessional conduct in the recently concluded governorship election in the state. The chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee and National Commissioner Festus Okoye made their disclosure in a statement issued on today. Now, it will be recalled that on Tuesday, 4th of July 2023, the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, during a meeting with the RECs, confirmed the receipt of case files from the Nigeria police following the conclusion of investigation into alleged electoral offences committed during the 2023 general election, including one involving Ari, while assuring Nigerians of immediate action on the matter. Explaining the reason for the filing, the charges at the court in Adamawa, Okoye said, as provided by section 145 subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022, an offence committed under the act shall be triable in a magistrate court or a high court of a state in which the offence is committed, or the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Now, furthermore, section 145 subsection 2 of the act provides that a prosecution under the act shall be undertaken by legal officers of the commission or any legal practitioner appointed by it. Okoye added, having reviewed the case file from the police, which established a prima facie case against Hudu Hanuzu Hanuza Arai, the commission has filed a 6-count charge against him at Adamawa State High Court sitting in Yola. Consequently, the court has fixed Wednesday, the 12th of July, 2023, for commencement of the trial. So we'll see what happens from there. Would that actually, because all this going on, so does it actually fit into that allegation or that allegation that the election wasn't free and fair? All right then. Now some stories making the rounds. My bishop, thank you very much. He said the CPC Abakairi has been released on bail, and he said Fayose is a liar. He is a politician, dirty one like that. That pertains to Fayose's visit to the president, saying that, you know what, I just visited him. I'm not one who makes his words there, and if the president fails to do what is promised, I'm going to come at him like no man's business. Then he's saying he is a liar. All right then. Okay, some more the comment from there is that they are all out speaking sweet words. Nobody goes to public office without meaning well for Nigerians, but the system was structured to frustrate and convince them to comply with corruption. I agree with you 101 times, my brother. I know that's what goes on there, but it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Some other stories making around. The Central Bank of Nigeria has asked deposit money banks and other financial institutions in the country to increase monitoring of transactions of businesses and persons in and from Cameroon, Croatia, and Vietnam. The Apex Bank said that the banks and other financial institutions in Nigeria should pay particular attention to transactions from the listed countries after they had been placed on a grey list by the Financial Action Task Force. Now, this directive is contained in a circular reference, okay, let me hop that one, which was issued on Thursday by the Director of Financial Policy and Regulation, Mr. Chibuzo Efobi, and based on the resolution reached at a recent plenary session at the FATF. Now, FOE in the circular also warned that the banks and other financial institutions that countries like the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Iran, and Myanmar remain on the list of high-risk jurisdictions which they should closely monitor. Okay, so monitor that, and let's see what happens from there. Maybe some people are smuggling money into the, they'll call it money laundering, bringing it into the country, and what? Okay, let's bring you more on that front. Now, Nigeria's fuel consumption has dropped by 28% after subsidy removal. That's what the NMD PRA is saying. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has disclosed that the average daily consumption of fuel in Nigeria has fallen by no fewer than 28% since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu announced the scrapping of the fuel subsidies. Now, according to new figures released to Reuters, the NMDPRA, the average daily petrol consumption fell to 48.43 million liters, that is 13 million gallons in June, as against the previous average of 66.9 million. Then the fuel regulatory industry added that since the scrapping of the subsidy, neighboring countries like Cameroon, Benin, and Togo, which relied on petrol smuggled out of Nigeria, have experienced a collapse in their black market. Now, it will be recalled that President Tinubu announced the removal of fuel subsidy, which had kept petrol prices low for decades, during his inaugural speech on May 29, 2023. In his Democracy Day speech, June 12th, the president admitted the decision to remove fuel subsidies will impose an extra burden on the masses, but appealed to the good people of the country to bear the brunt of the decision, as it will save our country from going under. The removal of the fuel subsidy, which tripled the price of petrol, has affected virtually every part of the economy, leading to an increase in the prices of goods and services. And the other time during the morning show, I was discussing with Mr. Olayomi that shouldn't it be means tested, and when people go on to file their taxes and stuff like that, can they capture that in there so that people can get those monies back, which will help them and he was of the view that, look, how many people actually go around to pay, file their taxes themselves? That is a big question there. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, as Bishop Adesina did post, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja yesterday granted suspended DCP Abba Kyari 50 million naira bail in a charge in which he and two of his siblings were accused of failing to declare assets of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. The NDLEA had filed a 24-count charge against Kyari and his brothers Mohammed Baba Kyari and Ale Kyari. In his ruling, Justice James Omotosho granted conditional bail to Abba Kyari in the sum of 50 million naira with two sureties in like sum. Now, Justice Omotosho added that the sureties must have property worth 25 million naira within the court's jurisdiction, among other conditions. However, the judge held that even when Kyari meets the conditions, the endorsement of his release warrant is subject to development in a sister case in which he is being tried and with four others on alleged involvement in dealing in illicit drugs. The NDLEA had filed a 24-count charge in suit marked FHC /ABJ/CR/408/2022 against Kyari and his two siblings, in respect of which they were arraigned last month. Now, Justice Omotosho held that there was no evidence that he was a flight risk and that he will not attend trial, adding that the offenses with which Abba Kyari and his co-defendants were charged are available. He noted that the NDLEA did not deny Abba Kyari claims that he was in Kuje prison during the last prison break, but chose to stay put instead of escaping. He said, on the possibility of the first defendant attending his trial, it is pertinent to state that, according to the affidavits in support of the application, the applicant stated that he was in detention at the Kuje prison when the jailbreak of the 5th July 2022 occurred, and he stayed put, even though he had the opportunity of escaping. The position was not challenged by the complainant respondent, which means it is admitted. This shows that the applicant is unwilling to run away from his trial and has shown willingness to attend court when required. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, moving on to some other stories making the rounds this morning. Well, the Kano Anti-Graft Agency has invited Ganduje for questioning. The Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission has invited former Governor Abdullahi Ganduje for interrogation over the controversial dollar video. Confirming the invitation yesterday, Chairman of the Commission, Muhuyi Remain Gado, said Ganduje was issued notice to appear before it within 7 days. We have an arrangement with forensic experts to analyze the video, and we will do everything possible to investigate the matter and any other corruption matter in Kano. Now, subsequent to our pledge to follow due process in investigating the allegation, the commission expects the former governor to appear before it next week to clear his name. I've signed a letter to invite him for questioning at the commission next week because this is what the law says. We will give him ample opportunity to defend himself, said the agency boss. Remain Gado also stated that the forensic examination experts confirmed to him that the viral video depicting Ganduje allegedly receiving dollar bribe from contractors was not doctored. He stated this while responding to questions from participants at a public dialogue on anti-corruption crusade at the Kano Anti-Corruption Institute in Kano on Wednesday. The anti-graft czar further stated that within the new administration's first month in office, a commissioner under Ganduje was arrested and is being grilled an alleged 1 billion naira fraud. Meanwhile, the opposition All Progressive Congress in Kano has told Ganduje not to honor the invitation. Why not? In a statement by the chairman Alhaji Abdullahi Abbas and Secretary Alhaji Zakari Sarina, Kano APC said it realized that the reenactment of the dollar video issued by the new Nigerian People's Party was part of a sinister ploy to dent the former governor's image. It explained that similar scenario was played to scatter Ganduje's chance of securing re-election in 2019. According to the statement, this time the detractors are engaged in the campaign to draw a wedge between President Bola Tinubu and Ganduje, one of the president's strongest allies in the north. Now, while Ganduje contributes to the Tinubu's political project right from the primary election are widely appreciated, his relationship with the president remains cordial, Kano APC is saying. That is saying, don't go. Now, if he doesn't go, can he be arrested? Or, what do you think? If you're listening to us from Nigeria, let us know what you think about all that. This is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, we'll be bringing the updates from Nigeria to a close in a moment. Let me bring you one other story making the rounds this morning. Now, diphtheria, the NCDC confirmed 798 cases and 80 deaths in 8 states. That's what is coming through. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control has reported 798 confirmed cases of diphtheria, resulting in 80 deaths between December 2022 and June 30, 2023. Now, these cases were recorded in 8 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Now, Director General of the Center, Dr. Ifidayo Adetifa, who disclosed this in a statement on Thursday, said most of the cases, that 782, were recorded in Kano State. Ifidayo said other states with cases of the disease are Lagos, Yobe, Katsina, Cross River, Kaduna, and Osun, adding that the majority, 7.17% of the 798 confirmed cases occurred among children aged between 2 and 14. He explained that diphtheria is caused by toxin produced by the bacteria Corynebacterium diphtheria, adding that it is a vaccine preventable disease covered by one of the vaccines provided routinely through Nigeria's childhood immunization schedule. The DG regretted that despite the availability of safe and cost-effective vaccine in the country, 654, that is 82% of the 798 confirmed diphtheria cases in the ongoing outbreak were unvaccinated, including this recently announced Federal Capital case. So, what do you think is happening and what do you think can be done? Well, as we say, there's a new sheriff in town and I think he's doing good, isn't he? Ha. Some will tell me that he's not doing no good, but it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, did you can do to respond to these calls where he needs to go and answer questions, or I guess people are saying they say ignore anti-graft agency, the APC telling him. If he does ignore, what happens then? Are they going to bring the DSS? Well, they say it's a pal of the president, and therefore maybe we'll see it and what will go on there. It's all Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And one other story before I take a break. Now, Tinubu doesn't carry same baggage as Buhari about Igbos. That's another story that is making the rounds. Let me see. Lutana Ojukwu, younger brother of the late Chukwu Emeka Odumegu Ojukwu, the former Biafran head of state, says he believes President Bola Tinubu is a different person from former President Muhammadu Buhari. The younger Ojukwu said Tinubu doesn't carry the same baggage as Buhari appeared to carry regarding the Igbo people. Now, Lieutenant Ojukwu stated this on Friday while fielding questions on Arise TV. Now, he was responding to questions on security issues bedeviling the southeast region of the country. In the quote, he said, if the governors are sincere, they are enough to be able to talk to the president. They will achieve the result that we are seeking on the release of Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. The most important fact is that the court has said Nnamdi Kanu should be released. We know that Buhari did not have much favor towards Igbos. He called us a dot in the spot. So really, I never believed Buhari was going to release Nnamdi Kanu. And I voice it out anytime people ask for my opinion. But I believe Tinubu is a different person. He doesn't carry the same baggage as Buhari appears to carry regarding the Igbo people. And I would like to see the Yoruba Igbos have a better standing love for each other's ethnic group. Well, so what is going to happen there? Will Tinubu do the needful? Release Nnamdi Kanu? Would that forestall the peace in that area? What do you think about all that? It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And now we're going to take a break, and we come back. I'll bring you. Okay, let's take the musical break first. This is the Zongo Man, and he says what? He asks the question. The Ganduje case. He said, where is the dollar? Show me the dollar. Enjoy it, and I'll be with you.
Broadcasting live online.
10 men share $10, and one man who gets. It's a disgrace. Where is the dollar? 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 Give gorilla bananas to give to monkey. Hey, hey, hey. Give gorilla bananas to give to monkey. You guys you know go see banana, banana, you know go see banana. Monkey no go see banana, banana, you know go see banana. Where is the dollar? 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 You know go see banana, banana, you know go see banana.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK. It is gone 11:42. A quick commercial break, and then we will continue with the stories making the rounds. This time around, making the rounds where? Yes, on other African countries. So stay tuned. Don't you go away.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Star Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactly 16 minutes to the top of the hour. At 12 o'clock, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions, and then exactly at 12:30, we bring the first part of the program to close, and we take you to Kent, where Money Man is to bring you the Money Hour. So wherever you are, stay tuned. Don't even think of touching the dial. Now, moving on straight to some other African countries as well. Now, in Senegal, Sonko is not going down quietly. Now, opponents Osman Sonko on Thursday promised elections in Senegal in indescribable chaos if his 2024 presidential candidacy is prevented. Now, during his first speech since President Macky Sall announced on Monday that he was not running for a third mandate, he said, in the quote, "There will be no election in this country, or else it will be indescribable chaos." if President Macky Sall wants to prevent my candidacy through legal tricks, he warns in an interview on France 24 channel. Mr. Sonko, President South Fies's opponent, was sentenced a month ago to 2 years in prison in a morality case. The condemnation makes him, in his current state, ineligible. In early June, it caused the most serious unrest in years in Senegal, killing 16 people according to the authorities and around 30 according to the opposition. Now, Mr. Sonko felt that Mr. Sall gave up a third candidacy not because he is a Democrat, but because of popular and international pressure. According to him, there is no reason to congratulate him for this. Now, despite the relentlessness of power to eliminate him from the presidential race, according to him, the leader of PASTEF said he was ready to forgive and even to forget if he can participate in the election. In a quote, he said, "We wish Mr. Macky Sall to finish this mandate in style and to be able to live in serenity. He and his family," he added, calling for free, transparent, and inclusive elections. He claimed that there is no official or unofficial contact between him and the president. He said he was ready to make sacrifices to appease the country, but recalled that he will not discuss the knife at the throat. Mr. Sonko has been blocked by security forces at his home in Dakar, sequestered, according to him, since May 28. So, a month plus, and he's been there. But what I think he can do now is that, interestingly, someone would say that if the courts ruled, it's not the president who said that, no, you did this and therefore you committed this morality, whatever, and therefore we bar you. But it is the court that said. But that's where we talk about the fact that if the courts are not apolitical, then when they say something, people will take it that no, they are using the laws to rule. But I mean, giving a good interpretation of the law, whatever they are doing. But when it happens that people see that in the past, judgment that have been pronounced have all been skewed towards maybe ruling government or politicians, the political big hooks, then they go on to say that, look, I think that there is something behind the scenes. All that he is saying is that they want me out of the race, and that is what they've done exactly. So he's saying, now, you know what? I will let sleeping dogs lie if you allow me to be part of the election that is going to be taking place in 2024. But would they? Would they? And what law will help them to quash that as well? Amontasho, good morning to you. Ekueto to you as well. I hope you are doing very, very well. And we thank God Nigeria has not happened to you. All right then. Now moving on to some other stories making the rounds on the African continent as well. In Niger, Niger has announced on Thursday that it has launched free distributions of thousands of tons of food to farmers hit by poor harvests across the country. A total of 270.6 billion CFA francs, that is more than 412 million euros, will be injected into the support plan for vulnerable populations, Hadari Zenabu Gaba, a member of the Prime Minister's office, said to the press. Now, the first distributions have started in the region of Tabiri, that's the west, close to Mali and Burkina Faso. In total, the distribution of 42,900 tons of cereal, which will be spread out until August, will benefit 1.5 million people in the 8 regions of the country. The months of July and August correspond to the so-called lean season period, which separates the end of the consumption of the harvest of the previous year from the following harvest, and during this period the granaries are generally empty, according to the authorities. Now, interestingly, in the Bible we talk about the story about Joseph and and Pharaoh in Egypt and all that he did there. And we talk about the fact that where he said, let's build silos and let's put some, let's store some of our harvest in there, so that when the rain season comes, we can use it. I don't know whether we're not good at that, but again, when people are tilling the land just using manual labor, they don't have machinery to do it, as we're seeing in the west or this part of the world. I mean, you go to people's farms, you look at it, you say, wow, acres and acres of land that is used in cultivating foodstuff and stuff like that. But the question is, how come that we are not able to put things like that in place so that it can see to address such issues, so that we know that the rain season will come, so that when it gets to that rain season, we can fall on that which we have saved or stored? Can the government buy the food stuff from them and keep it? Because you take a typical example of Ghana, there are some food stuff that very, very perishable. Talk about tomatoes, some fruits and stuff like that. We've not put in place systems that will be able to actually maybe, store them, can them, do something to it too, so that they don't just perish. Okay, we don't do those things, and then the low season comes, and then we are found wanting. That is what these people have done. That's what they do. And mechanizing farming as well. But if we continue with that, dinosaur generation way of tilling the land all this while, then it's going to take us a long time, and we'll always be there begging for people to give us food to eat. Because with what is happening in Russia, Ukraine, I can tell you, and Russia, I can tell you that what is happening is causing lots of African countries to go hungry, and that's why the African leaders went there to go and say, stop the war. Why? Because they thought that if you stop the war, then there's a chance that we can get some food or the grains that is being shipped and the Black Sea will be able to be brought to us, so that we can also have some food to eat. You don't go negotiating when you are the receiving end. They wouldn't even mind you or blink an eye. Well. But I don't know, the leaders will sit, they will tell that this should be one of the paramount or the most important policies that any government in this part of the world should put across. But I think that by so doing, if there's food security, listen, people work a bit, there's a lot of, what more do people want? But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, in South Africa, South African president is in Kinshasa to discuss security and trade. Now, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa met this Thursday with the DRC President Felix Tshisekedi at the presidential palace in Kinshasa. The South African leader is on a 2-day visit to the country to discuss security and trade. Both leaders are also attending the DRC South African Economic Forum, which brings together around 100 businessmen from the two countries. On Tuesday, the two sides reactivated the DRC's South Africa Great Joint Commission, a bilateral body of ministers from both sides tasked with working on revising bilateral deals. The visit from the South African president takes place as Kinshasa prepares for a general election at the end of December amid persistent security problems in the east of the country. Another election, and are we going to be seeing the Catholic Church coming out with their own tabulation of the results and saying that beep beep beep, within that there's something dodgy that had gone on there? Or maybe this time around, because we don't have that former incumbent who actually brought his lady in, we might see a different outcome of that result. I'm not sure, but what do you think? It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, let's move on to some other stories making the rounds in other parts of Africa, but that will be after this commercial break. Stay tuned, don't you go away.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
Welcome back to the program. It's Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'm bringing the time now to 2 minutes to 12. And let me announce the lines open and we continue from thence. You want to join in the conversation, call us on 0208 133-2257 or 58 0208-133-2257 or 58. You happen to be in the US or Canada, it's 0017183032737 0017183032737. You can text or WhatsApp us and it is 07539661744 07539661744. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK and email address is info@starradiouk.com. All right then. Okay, now moving on straight to Ghana as well to look at some of the other stories making the rounds there. Now, there's been situations where students seem to be committing suicide in university campuses, but the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has debunked the assertion from a section of the student that lack of morale on campus may be the cause of attempted suicide cases in the institution. Now, students of NUS are raising concerns over the conditions of on campus. They say play major role in students sometimes contemplating and sometimes succeeding in committing suicide. On Tuesday, social media was awash with a video of a medical student hanging from the 8th floor in one of the hostels on campus. His attempt was, however, thwarted when a student sounded the alarm and managed to pull him back onto the balcony. Now, in the situation, the university relations officer, Dr. Maurice Bequin, indicated that students say they are already burdened with academic duties, hence the supposed lack of morale on campus cannot be blamed for the situation. If students don't engage in moral activities, so they should go and commit suicide. Is that what they want to tell us? It is a national problem, and if you look at the statistics now, you can see the Ashanti region is leading in terms of suicide related deaths. So can UST happen to be part of their bigger society? And they have the view that that is what is causing them to behave that way, and it's got nothing to do with the school itself and the fact that people are calling for some morals. Interesting. Do they get any support from there at all? That's the question on the lips of most people. Do they get any support in the schools at all? Do they have a facility where they can go to talk to some counselors of anything that the challenges that they are going through? It says that how come that we have over 80,000 students, and if one student attempts suicide, we say it is because of lack of morale. The number one reason for which students come to school is to study and prepare themselves for the future. Already they are even saying that the workload is too much for them, but they want to have time for what? Moral activities? Dr. Bakun said. Now he continued, the media should not be funding that argument. There are serious issues. The young man in question was complaining about sleeplessness and about other issues with the medical doctors and other professionals are helping him to overcome. How can a student jump and you say it's lack of morale? This young man who cannot even sleep. Now, interestingly, what help assistance is being given to students like that who have got that mental health issues? But who knows? Okay, just bear with me. Okay, don't you worry, I'll bring you some lovely tune that I've lined up, and apparently it was still ongoing there. But wherever you are, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now in Ghana, abandoning sitting over Kweson's trial is causing financial loss. That's what the PNC are saying to the minority. The People's National Convention has said the minority in Parliament abandoning sitting in solidarity to their colleague standing trial is causing financial loss to the state. The NDC minority in Parliament has boycotted sitting on Thursday, July 6, to enable members accompany and solidarize with two members of their caucus, namely the minority leader Honorable Dr. Kessel Atuforsen and MP for Asin North, Honorable James Jechu Kwesin. The two are due to appear in court this morning in their respective ongoing prosecutions by the Attorney General and the NPP government. A statement signed by the Minority Chief Whip Kwame Governs Agboza said the minority stands united with our colleagues, and as such we will not be able to honor the business of the House today. Now, but the PNC disagrees with the decision. The General Secretary of the PNC, Janet Asana Nabla, in a statement dated July 7, 2023, said the minority has every right to express their support for their fellow MP in these trying times of the legislature. However, the decision to boycott sitting due to criminal charges instituted by the Republic against their colleague is worrying. An opposition party which professes to believe in the rule of law is expected to have faith in the legal system of our nation, where they held their reins of power some few years ago. The minority members in Parliament at this moment is causing financial loss to the state by abandoning their parliamentary business to go to court to protest for their colleague. For how long will the minority in Parliament continue this boycott of parliamentary sitting at the expense of taxpayer? The General Secretary asked. It's quite a pronounced statement there. But what do you think about all that? Because they believe that, look, we have to go and support our colleagues, and especially the minority leader in Parliament as well, who is also on trial as well. But is it something that the ruling government is trying to used to frustrate them by pursuing their cases and fighting left, right, center. So that I don't get it. I don't get it, you know. But what do you think? It'd be nice to know your thoughts about it. Maybe they are being fair. He's saying that, well, they said they believe in the rule of law, so they should go to the courts. What about unanimous? Is it unanimous 7 or unanimous 5? And all those, there have been cases, there have been some rulings that have come out that makes people doubt. It makes people doubt the unbiasedness and the rules of the courts, or by saying the rule of law. But it's an interesting one. But Judge Kwesi, who is one of the individuals, who is an MP now, who is also standing trial, has come out to say the Member of Parliament for Assin North, Judge James Kwesi, has called on Parliament to be more forceful with its oversight responsibility in order to confront the prevailing challenges. In his appreciation message after being sworn in for the second time as MP for the Assin North on July 4, 2023, he catalogued a number of challenges the nation is being confronted that should be tackled head on. Today, our country is confronted with many challenges such as massive unemployment, economic bankruptcy, macroeconomic instability, corruption, environmental degradation, declining education standards, and over-politicized state institutions. These challenges call for Parliament to be more assertive in its oversight, lawmaking, and deliberative functions. In the quote, he said, "I pledge to work assiduously with my colleagues in the minority caucus to confront these challenges to enhance growth, economic opportunity, shared prosperity, and to advance our march towards equal rights, equal justice, equal citizenship, equal opportunity for all," Mr. Kwesi stated. Well, it's quite an interesting statement that he has made there. But let's see what comes out of that. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, one other story from Ghana, and then we can move on from there. Well, in Ghana, a case of medical negligence that led to the death of patient has hit the Central Aflao Hospital in Ketu South municipality of the Volta region. Added to that, 2 nurses who have been named as being directly involved in the case are being investigated together with the hospital. Information coming through has said. Detailing what is found out, the paper said that the Daily Graphic alleged the medical negligence of the 2 nurses led to the death of a critically ill patient who came to their health facility after they refused to attend to her on grounds that she needed to deposit money before she was attended to. Linda Adua, 39, the deceased patient is said to have made several pleas to the health workers in the company of a 19-year-old son that they wanted to make a payment via mobile money, but none of their attempts could convince the nurses, who also insisted on a cash and carry system, or nothing could be done to help her. The case, which is currently before the President of Ghana, the Minister of Health, the Ghana Health Service, and the Medical and Dental Council, is said to have become critical because the nurses left Linda unattended until she gave up the ghost at their facility. And that's a very, very sad one. Let me take the opportunity to say good afternoon to Omobola G. He said, "Afternoon, Mr. Archie and Koiki. God bless you, sir, and your team, and God bless Starr Radio UK." God bless you, Mobola G. I hope that you are doing very, very well. And as we pray on this platform, may Nigeria not happen to you or to your loved ones there. All right, then. Now, let me bring you one other story, and then we move on from Ghana as well. Okay, MPP delegates in Ablekuma West are vowing to vote against Alan for giving 100, I was going to say pounds, 100 Ghana cedis as transport money. Oh, money crazy. Okay, now some MPP delegates at Ablekuma have pledged not to vote for one of the party's flag bearer hopefuls, Alan Chermartin, for sharing 100 Ghana cedis as transport money. The disgruntled delegates who expressed their dissatisfaction to a reporter at one of the FM stations added that Vice President Mahmoudou Bawumia gave out 300 Ghana cedis for transport during his visit to Ablekuma, and they expected Alan to do same or better. So you ask yourself the question, is it that they are voting for the person because of the policies that the person holds, integrity, or because of whatever monies that was given them? It's a very, very sad story there. But that is how politics has descended into when it comes to the African continent, especially in Ghana and my lovely country, Niger. But listeners, it's Star Radio UK, 11 minutes past the top of the hour at the time. The morning show, the program. I'm Archie, and we just got a few minutes to run up the first part of the program, so stay tuned. Don't you go away. Yellen has criticized China's cap against U.S. firms. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen criticized Chinese cap against U.S. firms while on a diplomatic visit to Beijing to improve bilateral ties. You know, interestingly, they say we are going to improve bilateral ties. Then you go say you are being evil. What you are doing is wrong. But when somebody say you have to tell the truth, right? Okay, Washington and its allies will fight back against Beijing's unfair economic practices, she said on Friday. Ms. Yellen also struck a conciliatory note saying that the U.S. seeks to diversify rather than decouple from China. Her visit follows that of Secretary of State Antony Blinken as the U.S. and China resumes talks amid tensions. The 4-day trip, where she is scheduled to meet Chinese Premier Li Qiang, is expected to achieve very little by the time she takes off from Beijing's capital airport on Sunday evening. But the visit is important for the simple fact that it is all happening at all. Relationship between Beijing and Washington have deteriorated strictly in recent years because of the many things that divided them. Human rights in Xinjiang and Hong Kong, territorial claims to Taiwan and the South China Sea, Beijing's growing domination of a host of industries from graphite and silicon production to rare earths, lithium batteries and solar panels. Mr. Tabiri, thank you very much. I'm enjoying summer. Okay, if we get anything, we can do it. If not, we can do the scam. Because there are serious scams going on. Okay, relations between Beijing and Washington have deteriorated swiftly in recent years because of the many things that divided them. Human rights in Xinjiang and Hong Kong, territorial claims to Taiwan and the South China Sea, Beijing's growing domination of a host of industries from graphite and silicon production to rare earths, lithium batteries and solar panels. Ms. Yellen said she was particularly troubled by China's recent punitive measures. This includes a crackdown on U.S. headquartered consulting firms and export control introduced just last week on critical minerals used to make computer chips. Now, this follows U.S. restriction that prevent China or the Chinese companies from accessing the most advanced chips while pushing allied countries to follow suit. It is all coming away from Star Radio UK. So, do you think these umpires between the U.S. and China will end anytime soon, especially with their stance there? Okay, now Amazon deforestation is down by a third in 2023, says Brazilian government. Now, deforestation in Brazil, Amazon, fell by 33.6%, significant amount. Now, in the first 6 months of President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva's term, compared with the same period in 2022, the government says. It suggests the rainforest shrunk by 2,649 square kilometers this January to June, down from 3,988 square kilometers in those 6 months last year under President Bolsonaro. Now, the released government satellite data has not been independently verified, though, but Lula has pledged to end deforestation or forest clearance by 2030. But he faces a huge challenge to achieve this target, as the area of rainforest still reported to be lost under his rule is more than 3 times the size of New York. Wow. The past few years have been an alarming rise. There have been an alarming rise in deforestation. The Amazon rainforest is a crucial buffer in the global fight against climate change. The question is, what is being given to Brazilians for not going on to deforest or destroy the forest there? We are not giving them enough, and people think that, look, we own that patch of land and we can, hew down the trees there and make something out of that. I bet you they would definitely go on to do so. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to some other stories making the rounds. Let's take a quick break and I will be with you. Let's take a quick break and I will be with you. I need to give some information out.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Alright then, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 18 minutes past the top of the hour, and now we are in the UK. Let's look at some of the stories making the rounds there. A driver is being questioned over fatal Wimbledon school crash. Now look at the whole accident yesterday when it did occur, and I was watching the footage and everything. I was asking myself, how come? What happened? How did it even happen there? How did it even happen there? Well, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Unless, of course, it came from the opposite side and they spun in straight and hit. But well, police are continuing to question a woman over a car crash at a school which killed an 8-year-old girl, as floral tributes are laid at the scene. Now, 12 people were taken to hospital after a Land Rover crashed into the study. Okay. Let's bear with me. Just bear with me. 12 people. Okay, none of the children injured on Thursday are in critical conditions, though. The chair of the governors said the woman in her 40s remained in custody, having been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. One line of inquiry is that the driver had a medical incident. That is some speculation that's coming through from there. The Met Police has removed the car from the site in South West London as part of its investigation, and the cordon has been lifted. The force has said it is not treating the crash as a terror-related incident. London Ambulance Service said it sent a 15 ambulance to the scene and treated 16 people. St. George's Hospital in Tooting said it had received a number of patients who are being cared for by our specialist clinical teams, quote and unquote. Now, Detective Chief Superintendent Claire Kelland, local police commander for Southwest London, said we would ask people not to speculate while we work to understand the full circumstance of what has happened during this tragic incident. Now, floral tributes have been laid outside the school for girls aged 4 to 11, which is based on Camp Road near Wimbledon Common. One local teacher who asked not to be named said she knows some of the families affected by the crash and said they were distressed. She said, "I wanted to pay tribute to this girl, her family, and the school, and I'm really sorry. I wanted to pay my respect, and for my son to see that an important thing to do." MP for Wimbledon Stephen Hammond said peoples have been gathered for an end of year celebrating party in the garden. He described the crash as extremely distressing and extremely concerning. John Tucker, chair of the Board of Governors, said the school community is profoundly affected by this tragedy. A sad one there. Our thoughts are with the family, our condolences, and those in hospital, wisdom or a speedy recovery. Shamsuddin, I hope you are doing very, very well. Thank you very, very much. You came in a bit late today, but don't you worry. It's good to have you there. It says, God bless you, Yoruba Nation, and God bless you, sir. God bless you, Shamsuddin. All right, then. Now, let's look at one other story, and then we can bring the first part of the program to close. I'll take you to the Money Hour, where we'll be looking at scams, because AI, and things that are happening. I tell you, I'll bring you that story, a last one, and then we'll move on. Well, a sad story that is happening when it comes to some of the incidents. And let me say good afternoon to my baby, my younger brother Alfred. I hope you are doing very, very well as well. I hope everyone is doing well. Eresi, Mom, and everyone, and Rosita, I salute each and every one of you. Now, house prices are falling at their fastest rate in 12 years, according to the Halifax, while mortgage rates continue to rise. The High Street lender said the annual fall of 2.6% was equal to around 7,500 being wiped off the average UK house price, the biggest drop since 2011. Now, prices for June fell for the third month in a row, dipping 0.1%, it said, indicative of a cooling market. A typical UK property now costs $285,932. The figures from the Halifax come as financial firm Money Facts released data on Friday showing the average 2-year fixed rate mortgage had climbed to 6.54%, a slight increase on the previous days. Halifax Director of Mortgages Kim Kennard said the resulting squeeze on affordability will inevitably act as a brake on demand as buyers consider what they can realistically afford. How deep or how persistent the downturn in the house price will be remained hard to predict, she said. The lender said the drop had to be seen in the context of a market which had seen little movement in prices recently. This rate of decline largely reflects the impact of historically high house prices last summer. Annual growth peaked at 12.5% in June 2022, supported by temporary stamp duty cut. Miss Kennard said there as well. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. One final story, and then I bring the first part of the program to close, and I'll take you to Kent, where a money man is. And today we are looking at scams that is going on. And let me tell you about this scam that has made our one of the money men as well, Martin Lewis, say feeling sick to Tammy. Now, Martin Lewis said he was left feeling sick by an online scam video featuring a realistic computer-generated likeness of him. Now, the widely circulated ad, which attempts to solicit money for a supposed investment scheme, appeared to use AI-powered deepfake technology. So listen to me very carefully. Now, consumer finance expert Lewis said it was weird and pretty frightening to have his face and his voice imitated. Now, was it last week or sometime this week? And then there was an app that came onto my phone, and they were advertising that if I wanted, because I was playing a game or something, and then came and said if you click that, if you download that, it can help you. Now I can put my picture there, I can put your picture there, and I can decide to click on it to do something, and it can be speaking. It'd be like you speaking. Virtually, the mouth, the actions by the lips and everything would depict that it's you making whatever utterance. At times, even singing. I looked at it and I was scared, because this is the time that proliferation of AI is going on, and there's a tendency that people might fall prey to this, and it's quite scary. So he goes on further to say, he says he warned people will be tricked out of money without industry regulation. In the advert, which appeared on Facebook, a fake likeness of Lewis encourages people to sign up for what it claimed to be an Elon Musk-backed project, calling it legit and a great investment. He goes on further to say, my name and face have been the subject of a scam advert for many years. I get countless reports every day. This is the first deep fake I've seen with me in it. It's already difficult enough to persuade people about scams. Now, I've had friends of mine get in touch with me at times saying, hey, I've just put some money in that investment scheme you are advertising. And I say, I don't advertise, I don't do investments. And it's quite worrying. So deepfakes are images which have been convincingly digitally manipulated. Experts have long warned they could be used to spread disinformation. It is scary. It is very scary. But well, listeners, this way I bring the first part of the program to a close. I'm going to bring you our money man. I'm going to be looking at scams, but let me bring you this tune from AJY. It says crazy times. It's crazy times that we are living in, that you got to open your eyes and you got to see. Shine your eyes, as a friend of mine says, and see properly. Enjoy this tune and I'll be with you in a moment. Stay tuned. Don't you go away.
You've done it again.
Alright, alright, alright. Alright, alright. Give up now, just get up and go. Tougher situations down, it's looking like we fit on no time low. But there's plenty time to go. See, these are crazy times, I know. But hold on with me, just stay. We don't have to let up, oh no. The sun will surely come out. We will be alright, alright, alright. We will be alright, alright, alright. We will be alright, alright, alright. You will be alright, alright, alright. Kudos to you for the strength you keep on showing. How the odds have been against
at Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. AJBR saying everything's gonna be alright. Some way, somehow they do get alright. And wherever you are, I want you to understand that you know what? Someday, somehow, somewhere it's gonna be alright. We'll gather together, and together we shall give thanks to the Almighty God. But it's now time for me to bring you our money man, who'll be telling you more about scams, as I put earlier on. And let me take the opportunity to say good afternoon to you, Mr. Tabiri, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Lovely to be speaking to you again this afternoon.
Yes, so lovely to have you on. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, very well.
Yeah.
The weather has improved over the last few days or week or so. So trying to enjoy it as best as I can.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So he's enjoying the sunshine. While some people are crying, some people are enjoying, you see.
Well, that's life.
All right then. So please, what are we looking at today?
Today, just want to pick up on a conversation we started having a couple of weeks or so ago, mainly around the issues of scams.
Yeah.
Scams, be it online scams, email, text. A lot of people get these emails or voicemail messages, purporting to be from HMRC regarding tax issues and all that. I want to delve into what some of these scams are, what people have experienced, how to spot them, and maybe if we have time, go on to look at also what to do if you have become a victim.
Yeah. Okay. The other time when I spoke about when we're discussing, I did talk about the friend's wife who was scammed. I mean, when they received a call from the an alleged HMRC call saying that her tax something wasn't right, and then the person, the husband wasn't in, so you went to the panic frenzy, and then the next moment paid up to £2,000.
Oh dear.
So when the husband came and they said, they called, they said blah 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 blah, and then complained. The husband said, no, it's a scam.
Oh my God.
But she'd already parted with that money. I don't know whether she's managed to reclaim that money. And this morning, interestingly, whilst I was getting myself ready, I saw that I was expecting some calls. Then I saw that this number, I don't know it. Let me pick up. They said, your NI number has been used, blah, 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 blah. You have to. I was waiting patiently because I wanted to really talk to them. I pressed 1 and then they didn't. Then I decided to just hang up. Now, so it is something that is going on that if you are not, if you don't take care, you might fall prey to it, and it will be. So what are some of these scams going on so that some of our listeners will know, those who don't know will know, and those who were not part of the program the last time we had a conversation on that will know as well.
Yeah, so first of all, I think is the first thing to establish is that HMRC will never contact you and ask you for your bank details or your personal information, or send you notification by email or text for things concerning tax rebates or refunds or personal payment information. HMRC will never do that. And if they have to contact you by phone, usually, or email, they would quote your tax reference number.
That's right.
That is something that these scammers do not have. And so they will not be able to put it in a text or in an email. Some of these contacts come, as you've described, some of the contacts, the scams we've had so far, either by text, and it will tell you you have a tax refund for this year, blah blah blah, and that contact us on this number or click 1, and then to contact us. And then once you contact them, they'll start to have the conversation with you, and they'll try to retrieve bank details, or sometimes in certain cases they manage to get people to hand over money to get their tax refund. Most common as well sometimes are emails, and then you'd get an email with and then in the email it has hmrc.gov.co something. It looks very realistic. If you are not very careful, it can catch anybody out. Also about refunds or tax rebates, and telephone calls have been coming in. We've seen the telephone calls coming where sometimes, as you described, they threaten you basically that you're going to go to jail or something, a tax fraud associated with your accounts or NI number. So we know all those kind of things are going on.
Well, listeners, if you don't know, now you know. Maybe you have some questions, maybe you had some experience and you want to share with us, or you want advice, as Man is saying that, well, if you've fallen prey to that as well, we will be advising you maybe what you can do to do that. So, Mr. Tabiri, how do somebody spot this? Assuming somebody's gotten an email from HMRC, you look at initially at a quick glance, you can just say, oh, this is an email from HMRC. But when you go to reply it, you can see that those of us who scrutinize this will find out that no, that address there, clicking on it doesn't go to the HMRC. Now, how will other people spot that out, sir?
Yeah, so you first of all check the email address carefully. What the scammers try to do is that they would set up an email address, sometimes even it's a Gmail or a Hotmail account with HMRC somewhere in between. So if you don't check the email address correctly, you get caught out. So that's one way to find out. So check the email address, check the full email address. It might have hmrc.gov.uk at hotmail.com or at Gmail or at whatever. But the email address of HMRC is not a Google account. It's a gov.co.uk account.
Yeah.
So it should be very easy.
Yeah. Okay.
You could also, they sometimes capture, you take images from HMRC website, the logos and things like that, just to make it a bit more convincing. So look at it carefully. If you see an original image, sometimes the image is very poor quality, and you can see that this has been adapted from somewhere. Also check the language that they're using. The language is usually very threatening. They come across very aggressive.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea is to get you to react very quickly to them, not consult or get help from anywhere, so that before they are found out, they manage to grab your money and go. And also, if you get some of these things out of the blue, if it's unexpected, that is also something that you should be worried about. HMRC will not contact you out of the blue. Usually, if they have to call you about a tax debt or anything like that, or refunds, they would have sent actual letters in the post to you. So they won't get contact you out of the blue. And then also where the email is asking for personal details, also be warned. And also where sometimes they put in especially if it comes onto your phone via text message, they'll put a link in there to click on this link and then get in touch with us. Please don't click on any of such links, because they may have malware in those links, where they may take control over your phone and be able to access your bank accounts on your phone, or access your details, passwords, etc. that you have on your account, and take over completely. So those are the things that we need to watch out for.
Okay. Listeners, Star Radio UK, Money Hour with our money man, Mr. Tabiri, CEO of GI Accountancy Services. Now, you have any issues pertaining to your accounting, name it, from archaeology to zoology, he will solve it out for you. Okay, if it's too tough, he will point you at the right direction. So in the right direction. So what about that? Make sure you listen to him all the time. There are lots of discussions I've had. If you go to our podcast session, they are all there. Or you go to the Star Radio UK every Friday from 12:30. We have him on, and he's on today. And today we are looking at scams, various scams. Yes. Okay. Now, so. Let me leave it with you, then you can touch on the others and what people can do there as well. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So before we look at what actions to take if you receive some of these, what we need to notice that when they contact you, usually they use a tax rebate to entice you, get you interested. Especially at this time where people are struggling, with money and worried about their jobs and all that. These scams are thriving because they know people are worried and people are thinking about where the next money is going to come from. And so it's becoming very, very popular. They know that if they entice you with a tax rebate, you will be interested and you would follow their instructions. So they entice you and then they ask for your personal details, your name, your address, your date of birth, and then they might ask you to confirm your bank or credit card details so that they may issue your repayment to you. In several instances, they've gotten so many details of people, even their mother's maiden names and all that. And once they get that information, they either use it or they sell that information on to other criminal gangs who use the details for all sorts of things. So as tempting as a rebate may sound, if you're not sure, you're interested, I would say get in touch, find another way to get in touch with. If you receive such communication, get in touch with HMRC and find out about some of these, about the contact, whether it's real or not. If you are not expecting any rebate, like I said, it's very unlikely that out of the blue HMRC will email you about a tax rebate. Usually they would write to you in such instances. So that's something to watch out for. Tax phishing emails purporting to be from HMRC can happen at any time, but the most common times we see around the tax filing and tax payment deadline, because they know that around those times people expect HMRC contact. So it is another time that we see a heightened rise in the contacts in these scams. And so people need to be aware. So if you get those contacts around tax filing date or deadline, then just be aware or be cautious with that type of contact.
Okay. Interesting.
So if you receive some of these, like we have discussed, if you receive an email or a text message with a link in it to send you or link you to a website, please don't put any personal details on there. Certainly do not click on the link, because it might have malware in there that would be used to steal information off your phone. So be very, 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 very cautious about that. Then we've looked at how to spot the signs of the email, that they'll come usually with threatening language, especially the voicemail. Some of them, I've listened to one where they say, we're sending the police to your door right now and you're going to jail. And you can imagine if you are an older person who is not savvy with all the online text and you get a phone call on your landline, they target the elderly. And, who are living by themselves, and they get some of these calls and they think it's genuine, it's authentic, and then they hand over loads of their savings to these groups. So it's a very, very serious matter. Do not share any personal details online. Usually they'll call you and say, especially they would mimic HMRC calls and try to make it look authentic, and then ask you to confirm some details so that they verify you, as the person they are talking to. That is a way in which they used to take details of you. So, for example, if you've got a password, HMRC will never ask you to confirm all of your passwords. If at all, they would ask you to confirm some letters or some digits in the password. You are aware of that. If they ask you to confirm your password, know that it's a scam. Do not give any information away easily. Now, if you come across any of these scams, HMRC have opened a portal or telephone number for people to report these suspicious calls, text or emails that they receive. If you forward it on to HMRC, they will look into it and try and get to the bottom of it, and hopefully to stop the scam or stop these people, duping people and stealing our money. So if you have managed to identify them as a scam, then you report it to HMRC. If you have fallen victim to the scam, then your only course of remedy is to report it to Action Fraud. So call the Action Fraud hotline or report it online. Give them as much details as possible in terms of how the contact was made, any records that you have, telephone numbers for the contact, email address, the actual email or text messages that you receive, and everything that happened. If you give them the full information, then they will try some of these. They would have information on some of these scams because other people have been scammed as well. But it would help them. It would help the police to be able to go after these people. And if you are lucky, they may be able to retrieve your money for you through the banking system.
And that was where I was coming to, because some people would think that, well, if my money cannot be retrieved or I cannot get my money back, then what's the point? And then some people decide, well, they just call it something that is lost, and then just decide to forget about it. But I don't think that is something that they have to do.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's important that we stop these people. These scams are ongoing because obviously they have been successful in very successful, I must say, in other cases. So they are making a lot of money doing these scams, and we need to report it. We need to stop it. If you are able to spot it, remember that somebody else might be a victim. Okay, out of every 100 that spot this scam, there are about at least five people who are not able to spot it, and they become victims to this kind of crime. So it's important to report anything that comes across.
But if assuming I'm with somebody, or maybe in the office or somewhere, and then I can see that is a scam, that the person is the person feeling that it's is the truth, and so feeling that that is being convinced to do something about it. Do you think that if I'm advising the person is not okay, can I call the HMRC or this what do you call it, the action fraud to help the person in that step?
Absolutely. I mean, HMRC, they are, what we need to understand that they are vulnerable people for all sorts of reasons in our society, and they are the ones who fall victim most to some of these scams. So if you are a good neighbor, if I can call it that way, then you have to help out. You know, it might seem obvious, so obvious to you, some of these scams, but for some people, they're going through so many issues, so many things in their life. Sometimes their head is not even straight, and some of these things come along and they make all the wrong decisions. So definitely HMRC will be happy to speak to anybody who is willing to help another person deal with this scam situation.
Okay, so you see, if you are listening to us, you could be your neighbor's keeper. Okay, you could be your neighbor's keeper. If you see that the person is falling prey to that, please help out, and you can call the action fraud line. But Mr. Tabiri, before we run up everything, can you just sum it all up nicely, and then we can put your contact details across for listeners to know? He is the CEO of GIL Accountancy Services, and you have anything from A to Z when it comes to accounting, you have to just contact him, and I promise you will see the difference in there, from rates to what, name it. Okay, so over to you, Mr. Tabiri.
Yeah, so I think you've summed it up beautifully. We all need to be each other's keeper, and also to remember, HMRC will not contact you on social media, will not contact you on Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter. No, HMRC still uses the main forms of communication is by letter. They have to contact you by text or email. They would definitely would have contacted you by letters before. So you would not, out of the blue, receive text messages concerning refunds or rebates. So we should all just be aware of the situation. If you are in doubt, do not give any information. Cancel the call, and then call a reputable HMRC number that you know or you can find, and you know, get the facts as they are. Don't give any details. If you have any doubts, go to the original source and get that clarified. If you have any concerns or need any advice regarding these matters or any tax or accountancy issues, I'm happy to speak to you on 079-6124-8834, 079-6124-8834. Otherwise, you can also reach me on email at dan@gilaccountants.com, dan@gilaccountants.com.
Okay, listener, that is our own Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services, coming your way today. And today we've looked at the various scams that is going around, and we don't want you to fall victim to it. So with the discussion that we had so far, please make sure you get in touch. If you see someone who is falling prey to that, please call the action fraud line, and then they will help out. But for all your accounting issues, as he said, contact him and he will help you on that front. Mr. Tabiri, let me say thank you very, very much for this wonderful time with you once again.
You're most welcome, and it's been a pleasure. Look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Thank you very much. Regards to the family.
I will do. Thank you.
Right. Bye. Okay, so that has been Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services, our money man, who came your way today. And today, once again, we looked at the various scams that seem to be going on. It is scary. It is scary. But you know what? With information, well, knowledge is power, but I call it that application of knowledge is power. And therefore, make sure that everything that we've discussed today, you will take it on board and help others as well. You see something, say something. If you think that something is dodgy, yes, tell your neighbor so that they don't get themselves involved in it or get scammed by it. Once again, let me say good afternoon to my younger brother, Alfred. I hope you are doing very well. And to Herbert as well, I hope you all doing very, very well. Regards, and I say have a lovely, jubbly afternoon. But we're going to be signing up or running up the program, but that will be after this commercial break. Stay tuned.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Star Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Okay, so let me say thank you very much for tuning in once again. Today, as we saw on this platform, may you have a lovely day and may Nigeria not happen to you. And I hope to see you all on Monday, God willing, once we come back. Okay, but this weekend there's going to be live church broadcasts and there's going to be the Faith Talk as well with KB Bossman. Live church broadcast from Bible Life Family Ministries there as well. Yeah. So there's going to be lots of music and let's talk as we say on this platform. But now, let us go enjoy this tune from Wuta. And he says what? Fix the country or country hot. Country hot or country no hot? Yeah. All right then. Bye for now.
Belle fou say fix yourself.
Thanks for listening.
to go, but we still dey borrow, dey go.